Hey guys, it's Hannah and I'm here today with a tag video for you. So I'm here today to do the mid-year book freakout tag, and everybody's doing this. I know I'm late to the game as per usual, but I thought I would go through kind of my year so far, and it's not been the greatest year, which I realized that after looking at all my stuff. However, I have read my favorite book of all time, at least in the past, like since I've been on BookTube, technically the very beginning of this year. So at least I have that going for me. So let's get on to the questions. So number one is best book you've read so far in 2018. So technically I was reading this last year, but I didn't finish it until like January 12th, which I don't know if I was still reading it coming into January or if I just like waited forever to put it like through on my Goodreads. I think I was still reading it going into January, but that is Hunting Prince Dracula. I have felt like I have loved this book so much longer than just January, but this is my baby. Like I talk about this series way too often and I absolutely adore it. If you haven't picked up Stalking Jack the Ripper, go do it. You're missing out. Carrie Maniscalco is amazing with her wit and her characters, and everything is beautiful and I love it so much. And the only thing that I'll say is if you are a teeny bit squeamish, maybe stay away from this, maybe. If you can handle shows like Bones or Castle, or well, more so Bones, like if you're okay with like seeing like medical shows, then you'd be okay with the amount of like medical cutting open bodies type of thing. So, but this is so good, so good. This is the second book in the series, and go check it out. It's just beautiful. The way that I talk about it is it's Sherlock Holmes Watson vibes except reversed, and it's following a girl and her male counterpart that is named Cresswell, but they're both on the same level of intelligence as Sherlock, and it's so great, and I love that they like play off of each other great, and it's a beautiful thing. So definitely my favorite book of 2018 so far. It is, unless Escaping from Houdini, which is the third one coming out this year, blows me out of the water, this will be my favorite book of 2018. Enough so that I tabbed twice, and I don't tab. I don't do that ever. Like, I don't think I have another book on my bookcase that has tabs in it, so you know this is good. I'm gonna stop raving about that, and let's move on. So, question number 2 is best sequel you've read so far in 2018. Technically, that could also be that one. I do have a few repeats in here, so, I'm sorry. I worked with what I could, Best sequel besides Hunting Prince Dracula with that sequel is I'm going to pick Leah on the Offbeat, and technically, I don't know if this is the second one. Well, it's gonna say the sequel to the book behind the movie, so Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. This is such a delightful read, and it's so like cute, and I know that people have some issues with Leah. I found her very real, and like you're in high school, you're gonna be a little whiny, and especially if you're trying to figure your shit out, and I just thought she was very relatable, and I really like this. This has bi representation in it, and the group of characters, and it is so well represented, and I really enjoyed this book. It's very cute, and I really tugged at my heartstrings. I really liked this book. Number 3 is new release that you haven't read yet but want to. And I don't know if this actually came out in 2018, but I have it, and I don't know why I haven't read it yet, because I love Spider-Man and Deadpool. And this is the volume 5, and this is the most recent volume. So when did this actually come out? It just says copyright 2018, so I'm gonna count it. I don't know why I haven't read this one. I think the last volume was a bit weird for me, so I've not wanted to spoil the team ups because I love the team ups so much. But I highly recommend if you're looking for a way to get into Marvel and you haven't yet, and you're wanting something fun and you don't have to do like a super ton of backstory to understand, pick up Spider-Man and Deadpool, because they don't focus too much on their backstories. They just work off of the dynamics of them together, and it's great, and you will get a little bit of backstory, but you can start it in this series. So I really, really enjoy this. They're great. The whole premise is that Wade Wilson, who is Deadpool, is in love with Spider-Man, who is also Peter Parker. But Deadpool doesn't know this, so he hates Peter Parker but loves Spider-Man. It's a great time, and you will laugh reading it, and it's great, and I love all of the antics, so I highly recommend picking this one up. Not this one per se, I haven't read this one, but I highly recommend picking up the series. Question number 4 is most anticipated release of 2018, and it either has to go with Kingdom of Ash, which is Throne of Glass, what, like 8 now? Which is the final book in the series, which I'm a little weary because I want everybody to be okay, and I swear to God if something happens to Abrax, I will riot and cry, and nothing better happen to the dragon, otherwise I'm gonna freak out. Also Manon, like nothing better happen to Manon, because those are my two favorite people in this entire thing, and one is a dragon. So either Kingdom of Ash or Escape from Houdini, which is Carrie Maniscalco's 3rd book. So both of them are going to be coming out around fall time, and I'm very excited for both of those. The end of 2018 is gonna go off with such a good note. I can feel it, and I'm ready for it, and I'm ready for those good books, because I've not had a ton of them this year. Let me know down below if you are having as rough of a reading year as I am. Along with that is question number 5, biggest disappointment. Now this one has a tie for 2 of them, because I was hyped up for both of these, and they both kind of let me down. So the true answer is Sight Witch. And I was really disappointed because we all thought we were getting Blood Witch, and it turns out we were getting Sight Witch, which I thought was okay. Like, that was fine. I felt like that just meant that they were continuing the story, but we just weren't getting Blood Witch yet. Wrong. This is before all this, so this is like a prequel, which I was not okay with. I still read it. I'm kind of mad that I read it. I mean, it looks nice with the rest of the books. It's beautiful done. It's deckled edges, and it's cool. But like, I didn't need this in my life, and I'm a little disappointed, and I didn't get a super ton out of this, and like, you don't even know the characters until like the last like 4th of the book. So this is my true answer, but I wanted to also throw in that I was pretty disappointed with The Court of Frost and Starlight. However, not as disappointed as that one. The only reason why I'm disappointed as this one is because I thought we were getting another full book, and we weren't. Both of these authors, come on now. I was expecting full books. These are both like novellas. And that, I mean, that's the biggest disappointment, right? But this one I still enjoyed. Definitely didn't need to read it. However, I enjoyed reading this one a lot more than I enjoyed reading Sight Witch. Sight Witch is like 200 pages, and it took me like over a month, I think, to read that one. It's not very long. This one, I mean, I flew through, and it was enjoyable, and I liked being back in the world, and I liked seeing the characters, and like, I could maybe reread this for fun. I'm never reading that one again. Nope. Number 6 is biggest surprise, and more so biggest surprise because I didn't really care for it in the beginning. And it took such a long time to get used to it that I had to like warm up to it. And once I got into it, I loved it. And that I think was the biggest surprise, because I really was like wanting to DNF it for the longest time, and I made myself push through it. And then I was really glad that I pushed through it. And that would be Nevernight by J. Kristoff. It was definitely not my cup of tea. I don't like all of the annotations in it, because I'm talking like half a page worth of annotations. But I'm so glad that I stuck through it, because the character's phenomenal. I love Mr. Kindly. He's got to be one of my favorite characters that stuck out with me for 2018. And Mia Corvair, like, she's very entertaining, and she's just such a different character that I think it's so good to have, like, to read about that type of character. So she's very gritty and real, and also she very enables her fears, and it's just really good. This is about a an assassin who is going to kind of like a school of assassins. Don't think Harry Potter. I went into it thinking Harry Potter and it's not. But it's still really good. The only thing that I will say is I recommend getting it on audiobook if you're interested in this type of book. And it is very adult themed in this book too. But I recommend getting an audiobook because the audiobook helps you get through those chunks of annotations that are in the bottom of the corners that I didn't care for, and it really pulled me out of the story for a good chunk of the book. But once I stuck through it, I really liked it, and I think that was the biggest surprise of it all. Question number 7 is favorite new author. And I picked this one up because it's been on my backlist for such a long time, and it's very popular here on YouTube, or at least it was, because I'm very late to the game, and that is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I'm not going to go into this one too much because this is literally all over YouTube, but I really like her writing style. They're so beautiful and ethereal, and I usually am not a fan of flower writing, but I really enjoyed the way that she pulled it off and the world she kind of created, and it really makes you fall into this dream-like world that she portrays. So I highly recommend checking out her work if you haven't. Question number 8 is favorite or newest fictional crush, and of course I am a Cresswell fan. Thomas Cresswell is so, like, I love a smart boy who will talk witty to you and is awkward, and that is him in a nutshell. But he's also can like be smooth at some points, and it's just so good, and he's very caring. But what I really love is the awkwardness. Like, awkward is the way to my heart, and he pulls it off so endearingly, and it's so adorable. So of course it's Thomas Cresswell. I don't really know if that really counts for newest fictional crush because I read Stalking Jack the Ripper last year, but I'm gonna count it. Question number 9 is newest fictional character, or favorite fictional character. Newest favorites, whatever, favorite fictional character of this year. And it's coming from this book, and it's, everybody loves Casey, right? That's her name? Katie, that's the name. But I really like Ezra in this, and me and Trevor were fighting back and forth about who was better, and I really liked Ezra's sense of humor. So I'm gonna pick Ezra. Like, I really enjoyed his character. I really enjoyed the way, again, it's kind of the awkwardness, and he kind of falls into the wrong thing, and he says the wrong thing sometimes, and then he like has to make up for it, and I just like, I really liked his character, and I liked the emotions that he showed in this book. So Ezra is my newest fictional character that I like. Why am I stumbling over that? Number 10 is book that made you cry, which I'm skipping over yet again this year because I'm a robot and I don't cry during books. Number 11, book that made you happy. I have a lot of these, and this one was probably my favorite. Like, I was most elated to see because I didn't know when this was coming out, so I happened to stumble upon it at work, and I was like, I need this right now, and that is Runaways, and this was the one with Rainbow Rowell. So like, Runaways, Marvel, plus Rainbow Rowell, one of my favorite contemporary writers, like in YA. Boy, I was so over the moon, like, and just, so I've been majorly hyping myself up for a long time for this. Runaways, it's now a Hulu show. Go check it out. The Hulu show is great. Go check out the comics first. There's the original 2 volumes. There's also other volumes too, but the original 2 volumes like were released by Brian K. Vaughan, and then Rainbow Rowell took over, and this has jumped into the future. I have been hyped for this for so long, so what I especially love about this, besides the fact that it's Marvel, Rainbow Rowell, and the Runaways, all wrapped up into one neat little present for myself, is that she's such a fangirl of this series herself. So like, that just makes my heart so happy, because I was listening to podcasts of her before this was released, and she was talking about how much she was in love with Runaways, like in love with the series, and how like costume designs and stuff, and how all that was coming to life, and how she was so like so focused on having the plus size character portrayed correctly, and it was just so like a breath of fresh air listening to authors fangirl over a series as much as you love, and then you know she's gonna do it justice. And like, she literally writes at the beginning of this, I never read these like letters to fans, but literally she writes this out and it's talking about how she's so in love with this group of characters and the story and how she like wants to do it justice, and it just literally makes my heart sing, and I absolutely loved this. I'm so thrilled that this was the pairing, and I cannot wait to see what she does with this further, and I'm so blessed that she is doing this in my life, and I'm like, this was made for me. Like, thank you. Favorite book to movie adaptation is the next question, and I could do a lot of things, and I don't know if this counts if I haven't actually read the book, but I've seen the adaptation. But by far, Riverdale, like that was, I mean, it was Archie Comics, it's based off of Archie Comics, and there's actually Riverdale graphic novels. I don't want to go back and read it now that it's based on the show because I think it's not source material, but I am in love with Riverdale, so I'm gonna count that as my favorite book to movie adaptation because technically it was a graphic novel to show. So if you haven't checked out Riverdale, boy are you missing out. If you are a fan of Pretty Little Liars, you will love it. Go watch Riverdale. I like, that's my next obsession, and I can already tell I am in love with Riverdale. Who all, leave me a comment down below if you're watching Riverdale and who your favorite character is. Mine is Cheryl because Cheryl's amazing. Also, she has a YouTube channel on here too. And I just have like a special place in my heart for, one, redheads, but two, like, I have a sweet spot without doing spoilers. If you've watched the latest season, if you know who her couple is, like, I have a sweet spot for that. So, yeah. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I don't want to do any spoilers. 13 is favorite video that I have done so far this year, and that has got to be literally any videos that I've done with Gabby and Trisha. I've had so much fun actually getting to meet, you know, like BookTube friends. Like, I knew Trisha before she came on BookTube, but all of us three together and finally getting to meet Gabby this year definitely was like a highlight of my year, and I loved having them out here. And we like sat and filmed videos for like probably like 5 hours, and it was so much fun, and we like had a blast, and we just sat like laughing all like the entire day, and we became really like close friends without ever having met each other before that moment, like actually, and it was so great, and it was such a great experience. So definitely any of those, if you haven't checked those out, please do so because they're so much fun, and we had a lot of fun filming all that stuff. Number 14 is most beautiful book that you've bought or received this year. That has got to be Heart of Iron by Ashley Poston. Look at this book. Like, it's, first of all, just, even if it was just the cover, like, beautiful, right? So this is just like a beautiful book in itself, and then it's got purple dipped pages. This thing is just a work of art. And this is an Owl Crate exclusive, so Ashley Poston signed it. She also wrote Geekarella. I haven't gotten to this one yet, but this one sounds so good, and it's like this gorgeous blue color. This is just by far the most beautiful book probably on my bookshelf, just because I've not seen purple dipped dyed pages before, and it's stunning. So I really hope the insides are as good as the outsides. And last but not least, the question of what books do you need to read by the end of the year? I don't think my number of like 70 unread books has gone down with how much I bought books this year. So I need to read a lot of books. Most certainly the ones that I definitely want to read this year are, I want to finish the Luminae files because I adored that this year. So I'm waiting for the audiobooks to come through on my library, but that is going to be all for this video. Leave me a comment letting me know what the best book of the year that you've read this year is, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!